sheer stupidity. That is the only explanation for the last week and a half or so of news regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's alleged return to the UK. It is sheer unbelievable stupidity, imbecility, idiocracy, so many things, like so many adjectives for being absolutely some of the dumbest people on the face of the planet when least comes to royal news. I don't even understand how you can be this stupid. I think it's good to start off with some positive news for a change, which is fun because Catherine, the Princess of Wales, that has just been announced, has completed the 3 Peaks Challenge for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. And when you think about Catherine and compare it, again, to the stupidity we are going to go over, I just feel like Catherine is just an example of how royals can do it really, really well. Oh, my heart breaks. My heart breaks. Well, I mean... And he goes on to say, the Duke just wants his kids to see their grandfather. Well, you know, you could have figured that out. This is not, again, rocket science. They were offered a royal residence. They could just stay there the whole time. Harry and Meghan could roam around. That's what they do most of the time. They leave the kids with the nannies anyways. We all know they do. So why don't they just do that?
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are making a career out of it by explaining multiple times and sharing that. Yes, we're coming back to the UK. We're bringing our children. We're going to stay at a royal palace, only for them to back out at the last second after their security was not given to them the way they wanted to. And the only explanation for this is not manipulation. It's not conspiracy. It's just 2 absolute idiots. So, guys, we're going to get into this imbecility today because it boggles
Harry and Meghan and their PR team, who I hate to use this phraseology, but it's the only thing that comes to mind, must have done something really badly PR-wise in a past life to be forced to work with the imbeciles that are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because, again, I don't have words for this sheer level of stupidity. I don't. Because this is just so incredibly stupid. Why would you guys make yourselves look this moronic?
So what do we have here? Harry and Meghan had announced, or it had been speculated initially, that Harry and Meghan will be returning to the UK with their children for the kickoff and the Invictus Games. And then on Friday, just a couple of days ago, so Friday, June 27th, we got an itinerary for them what event Meghan was supposed to be at.
You know, what sort of the plans were? They were going to go visit Diana's gravesite in Althorp. And they were going to go to a hospital together. And then on Saturday, it was, no. Whoopsie daisy. We didn't get the security that we wanted. So yeah, now the kids and Meghan aren't going. But we're going to be holidaying in Europe. And apparently they can fly in for the day maybe and fly out. But they're not quite getting the security they want, despite them. So this is the thing. People just don't, I think, seem to understand journalism anymore because we had the rise in the commentary space and everything like that. People from the Times, Tom Sykes, others, they were getting information from Harry and Meghan's team. And yes, obviously, sometimes you question things, but if they're telling you, hey, we're going to be at X location, like that should be pretty simple. Like this is not complex. This is not a weird conspiracy, or it shouldn't be. This is not even manipulation, guys, because this is just so idiotic. They're not Machiavellian figures. Harry and Meghan are stupid.
Why would you do this? Why would these 2 imbeciles do this? Because they just ticked off every single freaking journalist that they gave information to. Because you don't go and say something like definitively, we're going to the UK, if you don't know if the security you delusionally think you need is going to be there if the government says no, which it should have, by the way.
You don't say anything until you're sure. And if you're just going to, I think some people think Harry and Meghan just enjoy the chaos. And I mean, there's some aspects, I guess. But guys, in the real freaking world, not social media, in the real freaking world, Harry and Meghan look like imbeciles. They are never going to be fully trusted by basically anybody in the media ever again. Because if you don't know for sure, you don't say anything. And some people have said, they must have known for months or weeks or whatever about the security. I actually don't think that's the case. Because again, Harry has 28 days to give them notice. If he does give them the 28-day notice, it will take him some time to do the security evaluation, but Harry should feel great. After all, guys, the security evaluation for this upcoming visit was done. And wouldn't you know it, the government's like, actually, no, you're just fine, buddy. You come here with your family. It's great. You don't need the extra security. You're fine.
But Harry, again, delusional, not a bright dude. Meghan Markle also, despite going Northwestern, must be a bit of an idiot because she went along with this. And again, this is worse even than the photo debacles we've seen with the Kardashians and then with Netflix posting photos and then pulling them down.
Why are you doing that? And now we have such a blunder. Again, it boggles the mind how they could possibly think this is a good idea. And again, I think some people are thinking, oh, well, Harry and Meghan, they were just manipulating and hoping to blackmail the palace into giving them what they wanted. I mean, again, I guess we're all smarter than Meghan Markle, because I don't think anybody in their right mind would have any thought that that would actually be a possibility.
You would have to be exceptionally dumb to think that that's, again, the only thing I can use to describe Harry and Meghan here.
What the heck? And again, they announced something. This is not just speculation, guys. They literally gave a somewhat itinerary of this event. They generated buzz about this event only to, again, like idiots, complain that people are very overly speculating.
So here is from the Telegraph, a source close to the Sussexes. The poor PR person, like again, working for Harry and Meghan, must be like hell. They have wrecked their entire reputation, the public relations team, by again giving Harry and Meghan's itinerary the day before they had a poll. It says the precarious security situation and endless speculation about where the family will stay is making the planning and logistics for the private security team increasingly difficult. Then why did you say anything?
What? They added the Home Office and Ravik Board are willfully creating conditions that are making it nearly impossible to move the family from A to B. No, that's you guys. You guys are the idiots. I know it must suck to work for them. I feel for you, but they're like, again, this is all Harry and Meghan generated. You guys announced. You riled speculation and then you cry about it later.
There have been 3 separate incidents in the UK in less than 12 months that we know of, each involving a fixated person getting within feet of the Duke.
Well, I think that's a stalker, and that person, a woman apparently, a black woman, was in court, didn't really cause any problems. Hasn't really caused any problems yet, so I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Yeah, some people follow royals. Maybe that person just wants to follow, and see Harry and all these sorts of things. Yeah, maybe it's somewhat dangerous, but obviously the Met doesn't think so. So, like, one lone stalker, I don't know if that's really all that big of a concern compared to what we have been told before is like white supremacist groups and these sorts of things. You're talking about one lone person who was in a courtroom with Prince Harry, got through security at a courtroom with Prince Harry, and stood in the galley like a perfectly normal person.
In some circumstances, because of the limitations on what private security had the authority to do, they weren't able to remove the person.
Yeah, because they weren't doing anything. And even when you submitted it, again, to the Met's like, well, they can do it. It's a free country. Like, they follow around celebrities. And maybe you could consider them stalkers, or maybe there are some stalkers, not saying that there aren't. There are some serious threats of stalkers, but there are some people who just want to, let's say, follow a band around. They're like a groupie, and they just follow the band around to each location. Maybe it's just like that.
Harry is a big guy, a former soldier, and generally robust when it comes to handling these situations. It's what impact such moments would have on the kids everyone is the most concerned about.
Because you look stupid. And the palace doesn't look stupid here, although there's a palace side to this. The palace doesn't look stupid. The press reporting actually doesn't look stupid, although maybe they feel like they have a little bit of egg on their face, but they're not stupid because they were reporting what they were told. If you go to the press and tell them we are going to X event, and we've had Harry and Meghan do this. Meghan's going to Geneva. Harry, of course, it was embargoed, but he's in Ukraine. Harry and Meghan are going to Colombia. They're going to Nigeria. Like, they give the press. This is not like speculation about, let's say, a story or the bullying allegations or something like that. This should be hard facts. I'm going to X location. I'm going to B location. We haven't really had issues with that quite as much.
But Harry and Meghan decided to throw a grenade into their already cratering public reputation by lying, essentially, or misleading the press. And that's not a good look. That is not remotely a good look. That's not remotely going to help you at all. Like, the only people who would think any of this is actually helpful would be...
And apparently that is what it exists between Harry and Meghan and their PR team. They're all idiots, I guess. Like, that's the only way you could read this situation. Press aren't idiots. If you tell the press, and the press are supposed to report, this is not, again, like a story of, again, the bullying allegations and pushing back against them. You were told Harry and Meghan are going to go to a place that should be fairly simple and straightforward. That's become controversial and odd. It's very, very weird. It's so incredibly weird. So what's really going on here? And again, this is a lot of just speculation all over the place. I honestly don't really know, because there's no Venn diagram where any of this is logical or makes sense in any sort of way, resembling a coherent thought and objective. It's not manipulative, because what was the aim? You didn't accomplish anything. And if you're good at manipulation, you should at least be able to, 9/10 of the time, achieve your objective, which I don't think anybody achieved here.
Were you just wanting to raise speculation about the Invictus Games? But you didn't really, because all you did is raise speculation about yourself. Was this about forcing Ravek to do something that helped you? Because that doesn't even make sense from a royal perspective. How is announcing a visit before you're having a visit supposed to move Ravek in a particular situation? None of this makes sense at all.
I mean, that people think Harry and Meghan are some manipulative Machiavellian figures. I mean, I'm sorry, but they're not. They're dumb people. They're generally dumb. And this is a disaster PR-wise. I cannot even emphasize to you enough what a disaster this is. The press are mad. The places that they were supposed to visit are probably upset because they arranged for Meghan to come with Harry to the hospital, and all of a sudden now, oh no, she's not going. And they can somehow gallivant across Europe. But oh no, going to the UK is too difficult. I mean, the reality is, the only thing preventing Harry and Meghan from going to the UK is their own stupidity and their own delusions. That's the only thing preventing them. Because one person who you had maybe 3 incidents with, which was non-violent, obviously the Met has told them they are fine. And if the Met tells you, we've done an evaluation, there's no risk here, then what's the rub? Why are you upset?
Again, it all comes down to this is not based in terms of the security delusions, not based in reality, but fantasy. And Harry and Meghan must keep up the charade in order, I think, for Meghan to keep Harry away from the UK, because she's good at manipulating him, I think, and only because he's a dense dude. Her manipulation skills are meager at best, but he's dumb, so he falls for it.
Like, everybody else is kind of like, well, it's I can't imagine doing any of this and thinking you would somehow come out on top. I don't quite understand. It's like the brain feels like it's buffering, because it's like, how are we getting from point A to point B here? How are we getting from point A to point B? How are we getting from, like, I don't know. And I don't think Harry and Meghan know either. That's the truth. I don't think they know. I think they just had this idea and thought that, oh, we'll announce it and everything will be fine and we'll get our way. Maybe they're that dumb. I mean, they are dumb. So maybe they're that dumb. But looking at this again from a holistic perspective, all they've done is make enemies of basically every person in the media who took them at their word when they told them, hey, we're going to do this event. And the charities as well. They've ticked them off. The public as well. They've ticked them off. They ticked off everybody.
And this is why Harry and Meghan are failing so incredibly miserably. They're their own worst enemies. None of this was necessary. And you gotta wonder, too, if Meghan again is trying and usually succeeding in manipulating Harry on a small basis. She's trying to extend it, I guess, in a bigger term, but it's just not working. Or maybe Harry's behind this. Maybe Harry's attempting. And Guy, you barely graduated high school. You know, you're not a Machiavellian figure. You don't have the brain power to even attempt to do something this complicated. And it shows. So everything's sort of up in the air. But Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, needs a boost in one way or another. And again, they just torpedoed themselves. They just torpedo themselves for absolutely no reason. You don't announce something like this until everything is secure. If they knew the security was outstanding, which I think they did, the security had to be outstanding. And that makes sense. It takes a while to do a security evaluation, and then they can release officers if needed. They did the security evaluation, and they're like, yeah, no, there's just no reason. And Harry and Meghan are like, but we just told everybody. Harry and Meghan are not the brightest bulbs in the box. And there was this great piece from the Times of London.
It's bad. And if Harry is truly coming alone now, how does that align with his professed security concerns? The hill in which he appears prepared to let his last links with his family rot and die on, in addition to his public reputation. Or perhaps more significantly, how does a solo visit line with his endgame? What does he stand to gain without the kids as bargaining chips to flash at his dad and us? Seems like not much to me.
And that is so true. All right, guys, something I forgot to mention is, of course, the palace's role in this as well. And they can't control what Harry and Meghan do. Of course they cannot.
But I think, again, that their lack of being able to manage the narrative, manage Harry and Meghan in many ways, and shut things down if things either aren't true or if it's in the middle of a negotiation, something like that. The palace is just constantly letting these things churn, and it does make the palace look bad too. I think, though they are not responsible for anything, I think there's a lot they could do to mitigate a lot of this chaos.
Princess Kate returned with an emotional appeal, garnering the attention of thousands of people online. The Princess of Wales completed the National 3 Peaks Challenge in order to shed light on how holistic cancer care is as important as clinical treatment.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills. But more importantly, it's to give something back and acknowledge really all the incredible work going on up and down this country. I've met some incredible people, those people who are living with and beyond cancer. And I know personally how difficult that journey is. And I really wanted to use this opportunity as my way of contributing to all the wonderful work that's going on, and in particular to support the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, an organisation very dear to me, but who do extraordinary work supporting those living with and beyond the disease.
So she completed the challenge, which involves scaling Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike, and Snowdon within 24 hours over the weekend. She is photographed beaming in the fog at the top of Ben Nevis in Scotland Saturday evening. She undertook the challenge alone, although she was supported by the Mountain Rescue and was greeted at the base of Snowdon on Sunday evening by Prince William, their 3 children, her parents Carol and Michael Middleton, and brother James.
And it says here she wanted to use this opportunity to raise awareness about the deeper impact of serious illness and the importance of holistic health care. She says, cancer doesn't just affect the body. It changes how you think and feel and profoundly affects every aspect of life. I know this personally, and that the journey through and beyond treatment requires more than medicine alone. I have taken on the National 3 Peaks Challenge not simply as a physical endeavor, but as a chance to explore life beyond diagnosis and to give something back. The Royal Marsden is a place that holds great meaning for me and those whose care and expertise are life-changing for so many people. She acknowledged that each individual was different, adding that the whole person approach to care enabled those living through cancer to manage deeply personal challenge of diagnosis.
In the end of video, if Harry and Meghan wanted to generate buzz, there are infinitely smarter ways to do it than this. And they just don't do it. They just still continue to refuse to do it. And I'm sorry, but it does make them look bad. It makes Charles look bad. And if he could figure out how to address this and figure out how to somewhat contain Harry and Meghan, I think that would be immensely helpful. And I think it would help to, again, strip the titles and the places in the line of succession. If he could start by doing that, I think that would help so much with these situations because it would just take away so much of Harry and Meghan's. They had to know the security wasn't in. And yes, they would get some security in a royal residence. Of course, that would be extended as sort of the guest of the king. But beyond that, they had to know it was outstanding and somehow they thought they were going to get it. Can Prince Harry not read like an email or something? Does somebody have to explain it to him? In crayon, and he just doesn't quite understand. They have a right to believe. Again, we haven't had much time of Harry and Meghan backing out of, let's say, specific events.